Well, folks, welcome to 2013. What a great year this is going to be, and we're excited here at eSpeakers to offer our first Learn from the Pro training webinar in our training series. We encourage you to take notes. However, this will be recorded, so sit back and enjoy it, and we'll send that link out to you probably by next week. We'll have a link for you to be able to watch it and learn from it. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll get started here. My slides will work here. There we go. I'm Joe Heaps, your host and VP here at of Sales and Marketing here at eSpeakers. The purpose of these training webinars are to train you how to maximize your investment in eSpeakers. To help us do that, we've invited two longtime eSpeaker customers to share some of their expertise and their tips on how they've grown their business. If you're not yet an eSpeakers member, you're still in the right place and very welcome, of course. I'm confident you'll come away with much and be glad that you spent the hour with us. Here at eSpeakers, eSpeakers helps speakers, trainers, and coaches, entertainers organize, promote, and grow their businesses. And this morning you're in for a real treat. Our first presenter, Darren LaCroix, won the coveted Toastmasters International 2001 World Championship of Speaking. Darren outspoke 25,000 contestants from 14 countries to win that title. As co-founder of the Humor Institute and co-creator of the Humor Bootcamp, Darren directs seminars that help presenters wisely use the power of humor to lighten up their presentations. He is also an award-winning producer of the film Healing, Hope, and Humor. Our second presenter is Michelle Neray, who knows a little bit about what it feels like to be different. Born to a Jewish mother from France and a Jewish father who fled Iran during World War II, his parents settled in Montreal to start a new life and raise their family. Michelle grew up a French-speaking Jewish kid in an English Protestant school in the province that was overwhelmingly French Catholic. Having a girl's name also didn't help him blend in either. A dynamic, fun, and engaging speaker, Michelle is passionate about helping his audiences discover and communicate what he calls their essential message. And Michelle has really figured out some great ways to leverage eSpeakers video particularly, and how to engage his customers and grow his business. We've asked him to spend about 10 minutes at the end of Darren's presentation and share his tips about how he presents, how he can use that video. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and get this training started. Multiple streams of speaking income. Do you want more? Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold today, so I apologize. Do you want more product income? Do you want to earn while you sleep? Are you sincerely interested in making a lasting impact on your audience? Do you honestly need more than 1 hour to teach everything you know about your expertise? If so, to product or not to product, there is no question. What could you learn from someone who quit their day job and survived on product sales alone? What if he tracked every product sold at every presentation, how many attendees, and the dollars earned per head for the past 5 years? Currently, 70% of Darren LaCroix's income is derived from product sales and does not sound like an infomercial while on stage. He has spoken in Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and Oman. His last product launch yielded over 117,000. And in high school, Darren was considered least likely to be very funny. Without a funny bone in his body, but a willingness to fail and desire to learn, he pursued his childhood dream of someday speaking to NSA. So without further ado, we're going to switch the controls over to Darren LaCroix. And let me just get him unmuted. And Darren, you there?
I'm here, Joe. Thanks.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to switch the controls over to you, and we are going to do that. We welcome you, of course, and
Delighted to be here and delighted to know and use eSpeakers. I flippin' love eSpeakers.
Yeah, Darren's a great customer and has been using it for a while here. Darren, will you please tell our audience how they can build multiple streams of income in these turbulent economic times?
Thanks, Joe. Well, as most of you know, the speaking model has changed. The speaking industry has changed over the past 10 years. And what I've discovered is people who were my mentors and great people and making a lot of money are now coming to me because the old model doesn't work. And I love helping people, and I started the hard way, and I love shortening other people's learning curves. So here's a quick little math example. If you look at how many presentations, the number of presentations you want to do or are doing per year, take that number and multiply that times your average audience size. And then bring that subtotal down and multiply that times 10. So just a quick example. If you, let's say, an average speaker, and you may be more, you may be less, that's okay. Put your numbers in here. But if you do 50 presentations a year, an average of 200 people, that would be 10,000 times 10. That'd be 100,000. My point is, this is the amount of income you're missing if you don't have any product sales. Now, I'm not saying about being a barker on stage and an infomercial. I'm talking about being a highly paid professional speaker, yet you still have some tools to help people get what they want. In Toastmasters, this gentleman's name is David Brooks. He was the 1990 world champion in public speaking. And the night before I competed for the world championship, this gentleman, who was a great mentor to me, I knew and understood his business. I wanted to thank him. I wanted to help him. So he had achieved something that I was not the speaker that he was. Yet in the business side, I love business, and that was my thing. So I knew I was earning more than him, but he was definitely a better speaker than I was. Well, the night before the World Championship, in my efforts to thank him, whether I won or whether I didn't, David had been a professional trainer for one of the seminar companies, the national seminar companies, and he would go around the country teaching. And he was actually one of the highest back-of-the-room sellers in that company, one of the best in the country. But the bad part, the sad part in my mind was David didn't have any of his own products. And this drove me crazy. So the night before the championship, we took a walk, and I asked him a question. And this question changed not only the course of David's career, but also the course of the Toastmasters world. And I said, David, when you get a chance to speak around the country, or around the world for that matter, I said, how long do they give you to speak? And he says, well, sometimes an hour, sometimes 90 minutes. I said, really? I said, you've been a journalism professor. You teach writing. You won the world championship of public speaking 10 years ago. I said, do you think you have more than 90 minutes of material that could help people? He said, well, of course. And I looked him dead in the eye and I said, why are you so selfish? And his head almost spun off. Because he didn't know whether to hug me or slap me. But he had this perception in his mind that by having product, he was a product talker, and he wanted to be loved and wanted everyone to appreciate him. I said, but David, you're being selfish. You won't take the time to take what you know, put it in a format that people can take home. People are in front of you and want more. How selfish. This is what we're looking for. If you're not familiar, this is what you get in your email when you have a shopping cart. These are orders that come in online. This is a good day. So every time someone orders from your website, you get an email that says new order notice plus a merchant receipt. This is a good day. And we as experts in our industry, no matter what our topic, we should be finding different ways to help people because people want to be helped in different ways. So here's my question to you. Do you have more value than a donut? It might be an odd question, but I love this analogy because I think it just simplifies what we're trying to do. And I think sometimes we have to go back to the basics. For those of you unfamiliar with the franchise Krispy Kreme donuts, oops, sorry about that. That's not good. So Krispy Kreme donuts is this great franchise that you walk in, and this is what you see as soon as you walk in the door. And they have these hot, fresh donuts being glazed right in front of you. You can smell it. You see it, you can smell it, and then the evil employee actually hands you a donut. And then you take a bite, and it is amazing. Well, why do you think they do that? They do that so that you buy more. Because buying is an emotional reaction, and they give you free donuts, hot, juicy, perfect, so that you buy more. And that's how I look at product. If one of the things that I offer in my NSA chapter here in Vegas is if any of the fellow members want to take me to lunch and pick my brains, I'm happy to do that. But let's say there's 100 people in my chapter, and 100 people wanted to take me to lunch, and they wanted to learn YouTube from me because that's one of the places that I'm successful. Now, it's very different between the eSpeakers video, which is for meeting planners, I want to clarify, and a perfect tool, and I use that. But in terms of marketing to the general public, I love YouTube to give people some good content and then bring them into my website or my different sales letter pages. So if I was to have lunch with every person, that would take me 100 lunches. That would take me 2 months. However, if I can take exactly what I know, what I learned on YouTube, put it in a format like this DVD learning tool that I have, I could then have that and give it to 100 people or sell it to 100 people. See, I look at product as leveraging your time. This is now let me give you a specific example. This is an event that I do each year with Patricia Fripp and my fellow world champions called Lady and the Champs. And last year, I was going around promoting it at the local Toastmasters Club. So the 2 weeks prior, I let the speakers in town know, hey, we have these greatest speakers and speaker coaches coming to Vegas for this event. Why don't you join us? And a funny thing happened. It's just a Toastmaster meeting. I was not even speaking at it. And this is my YouTube channel, and this is related to the story. So this is, I have about 2,000 subscribers, 1.1 million views. But this is the important one. This gentleman right here was at the Toastmaster Club, and he was visiting from Argentina. And he got up at the end of the meeting and told this story. He said, my name is Ricky. I am from Argentina. 2 years ago, I sat down at my computer, and I wanted to learn how to be a better speaker. So I typed in, improve my speaking. And this video come up of this man, world champion. What's that? I watched a video. It was Darren. I watched another video. The next thing I knew, every day I was having lunch with Darren LaCroix videos. He said, and then 2 years later, I come to Vegas to visit. I come to a Toastmaster club, and he walks in the room. So in my mind, I was famous not because I won the world championship, but because I gave him good content that helped him get what he wants. So what I'm saying is I had a good donut. So Ricky, at the end of that meeting, decided to change his flight back to Argentina to stay for our event. You see, it was a good donut that gave him good content, that got him to want more, that then got him to become a buyer. So that's how I look at this business. So I believe in creating free, compelling content, and it's what we call a funnel of trust. And at the top of the funnel, you see I made it look like a donut. That was my office manager, Shai, said. You got to make it look like a donut. So we have to have good, free, compelling content to get people into our funnel so that then we can build a trust with them. Some people will trust you and believe in you right away and buy you or your product or your expertise. Some people need to do it over time, and you have to almost serve them along the way. So write these numbers down. This is how I build and believe in my business. My business has 4 different funnels, different areas of expertise, but it took me 20 years to get here. So just think of your expertise. But I believe what we need is a $20 item. That item that they get the free compelling content, and then they want more, but they're not really willing to risk a lot of money yet. They don't know you well enough. So they buy the $20 product. But the $20 product leads us to the $97 product. 97 is more detailed, a little more specific, helps them more along the way, get what they want. But then a $297 product. So write these numbers down because there's a psychology to this. And then a $497 product or program. And then we have a $997 or $1,000 product. And notice that as we go down the funnel gets thinner, but they also get closer to you. They get more of you. So the $997 might be a free or might be a boot camp or live coaching or coaching over Skype. So as they get closer to you, they get more of you, but they're investing more. So I believe the earlier steps are crucial to getting more people to buy the $1,000 step. So that's how I look at this. And my philosophy is you have to package your process so you can profit. Package your process so you can profit. So even like what Michelle's doing and helping people tell their story and be themselves and make that their ultimate branding. Same thing. How does he do that? What do we do? What do I do first? What do I avoid? What are the good habits I should create? So this is me begging Patricia Fripp to tap into her process on how to write a speech because I knew it was a missing element in my funnel. So if we look now from a top bird's eye view, how do we get people into that funnel? Well, there's many different ways, some obvious. I have one of my funnels is inspiration. So I created 365inspirationalquotes.com where I send people a quote every single day. I also have other ways. I do SpeakerNet News interviews. I do a webinar like we're doing now for eSpeakers. I'm happy to help eSpeakers. They've helped me automate my business. I love that takes time away from myself and my office manager. Toastmaster Magazine. This is the only place that I spend money because in the Toastmaster world, my world championship helps me have more credibility. So that's the only place that I spend money in terms of getting new leads. I also do free seminars, even if it's just a few people. I know my best value as a speaker and expert is number one, speaking. That's my best number one marketing tool. Number two, creating content. And number three, creating product, which allows me to multiply my time. Another one is when I do paid speaking. You know, paid speeches, I will earn another bonus income in the back of the room because I give people good content and make them want more. I have a free website called 52 Get Paid to Speak Tips, which also gives people one lesson about the business of speaking every week. But what it does is it helps get them into my funnel. YouTube. YouTube is my favorite for me. It's not for everyone, but if you like video and you don't know, haven't figured out or not, YouTube's not going away. And there's more and more ways and more companies that use video to help get new customers. Then my website, of course. My website and search engine optimization gets people into my funnel and onto my list. And then my weekly newsletter called Stage Time, another way that I interact with people. So if you go to top10speakingtips.com, I write an article every week and feature some of my YouTube videos every week. So I'm giving good content to help build that trust to get people down into my funnel. So one of my funnels is the skill of speaking. So this is just to show you how this works and give you some little bit more specifics. The giving a free speech, then I have my Fast Start Pack, which is kind of that introductory package, gives them a little bit of information. It's not a high price, so it's a lower risk for the customer. But that leads people to my Own the Stage DVD set. So that's more intense, more involved, and obviously more money. What I did is I did a coaching boot camp, and I brought in a camera crew in order to tape that so people could see what Patricia and Craig and I do to coach people to become better speakers, those tiny little tweaks. And then I have the live camp. So it's the same content, but yet a little more costly, more of an investment, but they can come and get coached live. And then I also believe that a great product for all of us is a community, a support community, a way that people can interact with you. So for you, you help many people, but you're only giving up an hour, a couple hours of your time each month. For them, it's a low investment to be able to connect with you. So it's not that one-on-one coaching, it's many-on-one. And just in comparison, on the business side of speaking, one of my other funnels, I have my 52 Get Paid to Speak Tips. which leads people to my GoPro CD. So it's a single CD about what you can talk about and how you can start this business. That leads people to YouTube it. So that's my process on how I create, why I create, and how I tag my YouTube videos to bring me the right audience to buy my products. Then I have my trademark Get Paid to Speak by Next Week program. And now, too, I have a Get Paid to Speak community, a support community, a way people can connect with me, ask me questions live so I can keep them going so they get what they want. So how many ways can you transfer value? See, different streams of income are the same content, but they're packaged in different ways. So I want you to double your value, not your effort. So we call it repackage and repurpose. So you can have CDs, books, ebooks, webinars just like this one, boot camps, keynotes, teleseminars, that support community, coaching, consulting, affiliate programs, and MP3s. And I'm sure there'll be some new technology next year where there's another way to transfer your value. So do you care more about your audience than your excuses? I hear this from speakers all the time. You know, they have, well, I don't know how. Well, I'm too busy. Well, I have too many emails. Well, I'm too busy. Well, I can't afford it. Well, I don't know where to start. Well, start. Choose. Start. And I know you don't have time. But if you don't have time, you're going to be out of business if you don't make time. Do you care more about your excuses than your audience? Done is more profitable than perfect. Well, the biggest challenges of most speakers is they're trying to be perfect. They don't want to release anything till it's perfect. Well, that's selfish. Release it, get some feedback from some fellow speakers, some of your best fans or your best customers, perfect it, tweak it, and then get it out to market. I love what Alan Weiss says, and he says, when you're 80% done, go. Too many of us, we're trying to be perfect. That's too unreal an expectation. So here's my must about creating multiple streams of speaking income. Number one, you must be great on the platform. Nobody's going to buy from you. This is the golden opportunity to connect with you live and see you live. If you're not great on the platform, forget it. Done, stop. You shouldn't be in this business. And if you're not great on the platform, that should just be one of your goals, to become better on the platform than you were last year. How good are you really? I teach people that you should record yourself. My background is stand-up. I was trained in stand-up that we record ourselves every time. And I tell people that, and they say, well, I don't want to listen. I hate to listen. Oh, well, guess what? We had to listen. So why should you? Why should anyone pay you to hear you speak or have you speak if you're not willing to listen to yourself? And I say that, and I show this visual because this is my closet. These are videotapes of speeches that I've given. I've gone back and studied. Now, for those of you who are younger, videotapes is an old version of a DVD when you couldn't skip through it quickly. So we must be great on the platform. These are my coaches. Who's your coach? That's Mark Brown and David McElhaney, who coached me in the World Championship. But who's your coach? Who do you now go to learn more from? One of the other ways that I use YouTube, now I don't think you can, I don't know, maybe you can clarify, Joe, if you could do this with eSpeakers. But one of the things that I do is I create videos for my event planners to help invite people to the events. See, I believe that if we want more influence, our role is becoming more challenging, and I think we have to help the meeting planners market. So one of the things that I do is I create videos. I'm not sure if this is going to come through properly, but
yeah, it's doing it, and yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Let me pause it. But what I'm showing
Darren,
here
just
is,
to answer your question, we are
yep.
with our video. We are coming out shortly with something similar where you'll be able to prepare a video and submit it to the meeting planner. So yeah, we've seen it as a great tool as well.
Yeah, and it differentiates you from other speakers. Hey, there's a lot of speakers that we love and adore that we'll never ever be in competition in, but there's some that we will be. Well, let's serve the meeting planner more, create some very simple videos, and I don't make me the hero of this video. I highlight the other speakers, I highlight the event, and I put the sign-up web address on there. So the event planner, you know, when I gave this to the event planner, he went out of his mind. He goes, oh my gosh, I love the content. Well, it was their content. I just went to their sales letter page, pulled off the highlights, and I put it on words that went by me as I was talking. And I just used their content. And he loved it. They ended up embedding it into their homepage of their website. And then at the very end, in silence with a little music, I put, more about Darren LaCroix, go to darrenlacroix.com. Well, when you walk in the room, you have more rapport with that audience, as well as people come up and, hey, I saw that video. They'll get curious. So some people who don't even go to the event will actually go to your website and possibly buy something because they're not going to the event, but they're curious because of you. So you help the event planner, and the event planner definitely helps you build your business. Number 2, you must get over the bad stigma. There are people who are salespeople from the front of the room, and they push it way too hard, and they don't give any content. Guess what? That's reality. They've screwed it up and made it more challenging for the rest of us. That's horrible. However, are you more worried about what people think of you, that you won't push or you won't have anything, than to actually serve the audience? We've got to let go of that bad stigma. Yes, it's out there, but it's also how you promote it. And it's if you do some subtle things to give good content to get people to want more. One of my friends, his name is Guy Burns. He's a phenomenal back-of-the-room seller now. And another gentleman who has been selling for one of those national seminar companies. And Mr. Hawker is horrible, and he hates it, and he thinks he's selling. So when he talks about his product, or the products for that company, he changes his demeanor. Even though he's a good teacher, when he gets to the product sales, he changes his demeanor. Guy Burns, a friend of mine, he was not very good at the beginning, and he decided to take it upon himself and go find out who was the best in the company, fly on his days off, spend 2 days with the guy who's the best in the company, learned from him, studied from him, paid him some money to learn what he was doing. And now Guy is in his subject area, he's one of the best in the company. So it's really our own mindset and what we do with it. You've got to look at your product as just an extension of you. It's what you would say if you were to sit down one-on-one. This is one of my customers who sent me a thank you note. I love this. And basically he says that he thanked me for pushing my product. Even though I'm not pushing it, not in your face, I've found ways to do it so it's not offensive, but helping people get what they want. Number 3, you must solve their problems. That's what we do. There's a great book called How to Sell a Whole Lot More Than $1 Million in Information Products. First chapter is 146 pages, but I'll sum it down to this, and I love this. The book is by Dr. Jeffrey Lant, if you want to check it out. Huge book, but great. And he said, all we're doing is solving people's problems or giving them an aspiration. That's it. We got to look at ourselves as problem solvers. I love this by T. Harv Eker. He says, an entrepreneur is a person who solves problems for people at a profit. That's what we do. So I believe in bringing more value. This is a book, Judy Carter, who is a NSA member, and she actually wrote this book, Stand-Up Comedy, the book, which launched my career to realize I could learn it. She called me up a few years ago, and she's like, is this Darren LaCroix? I'm like, yeah. She says, who the heck are you? And she was being very funny, if you know Judy. But the bottom line is she was so curious as to who I was because so many people had heard my story and went and bought the book from her. And it was this big aha for me because I was selling more of those books than she was. And it was just part of my story. So for those of you just getting started maybe or still looking for another stream of income, who have you learned from that you could have their book or their CD program in the back of the room until you have your own? It's a great way. The markup isn't huge, but it's a way that you can serve people and still bring value and still make some income until you create more of your own product. So always think next steps. After they're done, I believe it's our responsibility, whether we have the product or not, we need to tell people, if you want to learn more about this subject, here's what you need to do. The more problems you solve for the more people, the more profits you will have for yourself. And leverage your problem solving because there's, live seminars or DVD. On the left, that's my humor boot camp. On the right, on that same humor boot camp, I brought in a camera crew. I videotaped. It was a big investment. When you're creating products for the bottom of the funnel, you've got to have enough income to be able to create those, but you got to get the beginning of the funnel right first. So live seminar on the left, seminar on the right in a box, because I have a lot of people who would love to learn and love to go to my humor boot camp, but they're overseas or they don't have the money, but they want the same content. So our Get Coached to Speak camp. On the left, we do coaching live. On the right, that's the same program and DVD, same content. Number 4, you must decide. Decide that 2013 is your year. You're going to kick butt. You're going to make some decisions. You're going to learn from people who are actually doing it. Not say they're doing it, but actually doing it. I'm excited to listen to Michelle at the end of this webinar, because he's got it right, and I want to learn how he's using the eSpeakers videos, because it's something I dabbled in. I have a few up there, but I want to know who's doing it right. So decide. It's really a conscious decision. Are you committed to helping people? When I get started in this business, there was a great breakout session by David Knox, and somebody told me, hey, you like that product stuff, you should get David Knox tape, because I wasn't at that NSA seminar. But it was a breakout session, but I loved it because he just got it down to a science. And I listened to that tape over and over and over again. I don't know why we think that we can listen to something once and get it. It's part of our problems as adult learners. But when I'm a sponge, when I decide I'm going to figure it out, I listen over and over until that becomes part of my thinking. Number 5, you must. You must instill belief. We have to, through the experience of our keynote speech or our products, instill belief that people can do it. So when I'm teaching other speakers, I teach them the Toastmasters, for example, better public speaking. I give them an example, and I show them my championship speech, and that represents how I am now. But in order to instill in belief, I also bring them back to the beginning and show a video clip of my very first time on stage and how I was back then. See, we can't be the ultimate expert. We couldn't just be born with the knowledge and the information and then just tell them, here's what to do. They want to know that we had to learn it too. That makes us similar, and that makes us more connected and more powerful, and also instills that belief. So, for example, in a humor boot camp, I break down humor the same way Judy taught me. So we take things and make them overly simple for people who are just learning it. That's part of what we should be doing. Here's the setup, here's the punch, here's why, here's the thought process. Number 6, you must crave feedback. Each time we present is a golden opportunity to make ourselves better next time. Not just our on-stage performance, but also what else do people want from us? What else can we learn from? Track your own sales. Record yourself. How do you sound when you're mentioning your products? I use a very simple spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. How many people are my audience? What I sold, what my dollars per head were, what my percentage of audience sold was. That teaches me. It takes me 5 minutes. But it teaches me who my audience really is. And when I introduce a program or a product, what that really means in bottom line results for my sales after. And then my golden secret for all of you is to record yourself, but leave the recording going at the end. At the end of the seminar, when people come up and talk to you, for example, as at my NSA chapter, there's a speaker who came up and she was talking about health and nutrition. She was really good, but just still an emerging speaker. And then she talked about her books, and her books had nothing to do with health or nutrition. And I'm like, how come you don't? You're an expert in health and nutrition. You coach people and you have success books, and they were just compilation books that she did with other people. There's nothing wrong with that, but I want to know from you, what do I eat for breakfast? So whatever people say to you after should be a great indicator of programs or products that they want from you. They will give you the titles. Listen to their words. If this woman said, if I said to her, well, I understand that's great, but what do I have for breakfast? She could create a product. What do you have for breakfast? Now when enough people come over and ask that question, you just point them to the product table and the title sells itself, because this is the natural next step that people are looking for from you. So leave your recorder on. That is the golden secret I have for you guys today. Number 7, you must have the right product for the right audience. When I'm fortunate now, I've been doing this for 20 years and I have a whole plethora of product. But when I'm in front of an audience, I always think, what do they want? What's their next step? If I'm in front of frontline employees and they don't do presentation skills, I'm not going to bring any of my presentation products. I mean, this seems common and obvious, but I really want to talk to people and interview them ahead of time so I can get a feel for who they are and what would really be helpful. So I learned from Alan Weiss. Alan says, why you, who will pay, how do you reach them? Why you, who will pay, and how do you reach them? For me, MLM is a much better audience than a corporation. Corporations have employees. When I'm doing a corporate gig, I know I'm only going to do $1 or $2 per head, because it's more of a souvenir that they're buying in the back of the room rather than taking home education. So I know, because of my tracking, I'll do between $1 and $2 per head. It's okay, because they're a place that I'm not going to negotiate my fee on. They paid me the full fee. Now it's a bonus. But I'll also do freebies, as well as I'll reduce my fee for people who do business presentations, because I'll know I'll do $75 per head. That's why at the beginning I told you and I showed you how the average, even emerging speaker can do $10 per head without any trouble at all. You need a few products and you have to make some mistakes, but that's an easy goal. I know I'm in front of the right products. I'm doing $75 a head. That's a beautiful thing. So ask others, ask some of your colleagues as well, and ask the people who will be in your audience. Great question. Who can you team up with? I team up with Patricia and the other champs for our conference. On the left, you see Mentors Made the Difference. This was an audio CD I created with my mentors, who were Mark Brown and David Brooks. We recorded this CD together, technically, but Mark was on the East Coast, David Brooks was in Texas, and I was in Oklahoma when we created this. So we each created our own segment, and then we edited them together. One of our programs, Speaking Secrets of the Champions, I sold in the back of the room when I was up in Canada, and the guy got it, loved it. I got, I don't know, $50 for it. David Brooks, one of the other champions, he got a book deal out of it because the guy loved him. So I look at it that it's marketing the other people who you're joint venturing with as well. People in the back of the room, I want to do what you do. When I came into Toastmasters and won the championship, a lot of people said this is what they wanted. A lot of people, percentage of my audience, want to be professional speakers. So I created Get Paid to Speak by Next Week. I just realized who my audience and that I'm naturally in front of and what do they want. I can't emphasize this enough, but supporting people. It builds familiarity and builds trust. This is our support community, Champion's Edge. Help and support the people who want to stay connected to you and keep moving forward. Our Lady in the Champs event is one of the few seminars in the country now that's actually growing each year, as opposed to people are finding it more and more challenging to get butts in seats. The reason it's growing is we found a way to support people, keep them moving forward, keep them connected to us. And for them, it's a small investment. For us, it's residual income because they pay us each month. So residual income for you, low connection fee for them. So I also, that was working in the skills, so I created Get Paid to Speak with my buddy Ford Sakes. We help emerging speakers in the business and answer questions for them. Residual income for me, and then for them, it's an inexpensive way. It's $500 an hour to connect with me one-on-one. It's $47 a month to be involved in this community and be able to ask questions. So don't give them a reason not to buy today. One of the big challenges I see is people with their order forms in the back of the room, because humans have an overactive justification gland. And this is older order form from my buddy Brad Montgomery, great speaker, and he asked me to take a look at this, and I said, sure, I'd be happy to. And I said, tell you what, I'll give you feedback on this with one condition. if I can show this to other people as a as a rule of what not to do. So just quickly, you'll see that he has his most popular package, the mini package combo. So, but the best deal is 65. But most people don't want to do that. So you've given them a reason to go for the lower program. That's not cool. And then if you notice, too, at the bottom, he has his name and phone number and email address and website. Well, that's giving people a reason to delay their purchase. Yeah, that's great. I think about it. And then, well, I'll go put this on the pile and check it out, check out his website when I get home. And they never do. So we got to be careful even on that. Now, here's a great tip. Use your products as content for teaching. When I'm doing Laugh and Get Rich in the humor program businesses, I read right out of my book. Telling them this is out of my book is not as powerful as the visual of them seeing me opening my book, reading from it, and then I give it away. See, what that does is it builds people's trust and brings them down that funnel. Number 8, you must understand everyone has a 20. Don't have a product that's less than 20 in the back of the room. It's a simple transaction. If you're in a different country, whatever that denomination is around 20, don't have anything less than that. That's that first step in the funnel. Never create a product for less than 20. Okay, most important you must sell results. See, I'm not selling a get paid to speak 8 CD set. I'm selling, here's how you get your very first check. Own the stage. I'm not selling an 8 DVD set. I'm selling, okay, here's your guide to greatness. Here's how to go from good to great. Get more laughs by next week. This is not an 8 DVD set. This is step by step how to create some laughs even if you're not funny. What's the result? And most importantly, too, is they don't get it. We need to be clear and simple. This is, I used to have a program called You Post It, You Profit, which is now my YouTube it. But I found in the back of the room, people were confused. Well, what's You Post It and You Profit? Posting what? It confused people. Now it's YouTube it. They get it. Have simple packages. Don't have more than 3 decisions, A, B, and C. Another, they don't. They don't buy after they leave. We think they are. They love us. They want more. They told us they want more, but they're not going to do it. There's always exceptions. However, they won't. So we need to get them into the next step right there while they're in that emotional buying place. And they want to take it with them. There's always exceptions, but people would rather take a physical product home. And there will be a point in a few years where there's no such thing as physical product anymore. I don't like to lug, but I find now when I do, I sell more because that's what people want. And you must collect contact information. Dan Kennedy said, all that speaking is a way to collect names so you can sell them stuff later on. Your list is your most powerful asset. So this is important. So, Joe, any questions coming in?
We do have some questions. One, let's see. Adrian Davis wants to know, will we get a copy of these slides? Are you going to make those slides available, or can you?
Yeah.
Well, you think about that. I do know that this video. I don't like to give
them out.
Yeah, that's all right.
Go
the
through
video
the
will
webinar.
be
They can grab some screenshots.
Yeah.
Because I'm turning this into a product. So
yeah, not a problem.
Happy to do a webinar for eSpeakers, but thank you. But watch it again. Watch the recording.
Yeah, they can watch it and get it. Another question from Marianne is, great information on, but how do you get people into the funnel? Do you have just a short answer to that?
Yeah, well, that's where we get. Great question, and thank you. I showed that slide where I use YouTube videos. Every time I speak, I get people into the funnel, meaning I pass a clipboard and say, look, if you want more great content, I write a weekly newsletter. So I call it my $1 million clipboard, and I pass it around. And it seems old school, but it works. And it's the reason that I did a product special to my list New Year's Day, and I did $12,000 in 48 hours. Why? Because it's people on my list that I earn the right to promote to them because I'm giving good content. So YouTube videos, on your YouTube videos, give good content, label them properly. Remember, solving problems. And at the end, you tell people where to go next. So, for example, I said I had 4 funnels. When I'm talking about humor, I give them a good humor tip. I show an example from one of my speeches and how I created it. But at the very end, want more? Go to humor101cd.com. You always want to give people the next step. And in this case, in the humor funnel, I send them there. If it's a business of speaking funnel, I say, okay, if you like this tip, you can get 52 of my best tips. I'll send you one a week for free. So I'm sending people to a website that collects their email address.
Good.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Another question, what was the name of the book about info products?
Yep, great book by Dr. Jeffrey Lant, L-A-N-T. So you could probably Google him, but it's a long title. It's How to Sell a Whole Lot More Than $1 Million Selling Information Products.
Okay. What does MLM mean?
Oh, multi-level marketing.
Okay.
One of my great audiences is network marketing or multi-level marketing because everyone tells them they can't, they shouldn't, they're stupid. It's another pyramid scheme. Well, to me, because my story is how I became a comedian, even though everybody in my life told me I can't, I shouldn't, I'm stupid, that message resonates with them, and they're trained to buy product. And I teach presentation skills, which is part of their business. So it's a great audience for me. It's not for everyone.
Okay.
So you got to figure out who's good for you.
Another question is, what contact management system do you use or recommend to meet and then sell and continue the relationship? You know, things like ACT, Outlook, etc.
Yeah, I actually use my shopping cart more than anything
Okay.
because that's where my list is. And what we have to do, if you want to build a big business, you have to automate your speaking business. And I use one shopping cart. Specifically, I use the Practice Pay Solutions version, but it doesn't matter. It's the same brand, one shopping cart. And it controls my list so people can opt in and opt out, and I don't have to be involved in the process. You don't want to be doing this on your own spreadsheet. So I understand what people are saying, but I like to do everything in my shopping cart. It keeps it simpler as well as allows me to automate. So my newsletter, my 52 Get Paid to Speak tips, my 365 inspirational quotes, they're run through my newsletter, through my shopping cart. I made the mistake. I used Constant Contact for my newsletter. However, Constant Contact is, you can't legally move your names from one to another. So I wish I started it in just the cart, and a lot of speakers I know do. So that's what I recommend.
Okay. Good. Well, Darren, do you have a way for the attendees here to reach out and ask more questions if they have them?
Yeah, sure. I will answer any questions. You can just send it directly to me, which is just Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N, at DarrenLacroix.com. D-A-R-R-E-N at Darren, D-A-R-R-E-N-L-A-C-R-O-I-X.com. Or you could just go to AskDarren.com, might be even easier. And let's see. Can I just wrap it up now, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll wrap it up so we can get to Michelle. So this is our goal. This is what we're looking for, is to get this income. Now, this doesn't happen every day, but every day I do have a few orders, but this is when I'm running a promo. When I launched Get Paid to Speak, I did $6,000 on the last day of the promo, without speaking. But speaking was very crucial to me building my list so that I could do that. They're all connected together.
Hey, Darren.
So yep.
I changed the screen. Do you need that for the end of this? Are you using? Okay, let me change it back to you. Sorry, I apologize about that.
That's okay.
Let me give that back to you. My apologies.
No worries. Oops. Okay, so again, this is our goal, what we're looking for, what I want to help you do to get those multiple streams of speaking income. This is my settlement report, which was the last day of launching this product. So again, $7,000 in a day. Does your donut make them want more? Our good content, whether it's your speech or your free programs, it's got to be good enough to engage them and more. So for me, what's next? I created this product called Create Your Keynote by Next Week. I think your number one marketing tool is your speech. And if you're already not getting people to want you more, rebook you or buy your products, the problem is your speech. So for the eSpeakers people, if you use the code ES for eSpeakers20, you can get 20% discount off of any of my programs. But I really think this is probably the one that would help most people the most. CreateYourKeynoteByNextWeek.com or go to DarrenLaCroix.com. It'll work on any of my programs, but if that's helpful, I wanted to give an eSpeakers discount. So that'll give you 20% off of anything. And finally, my last quote is reminder, done is more profitable than perfect. Joe?
Okay. Well, thank you, Darren. We really appreciate it. Wow, some great information, and I think there's a bunch of questions piling in here, and so you'll have some people contacting you in regards to those questions.
Happy to. I'll answer every one of them.
So, yeah, we really appreciate you joining us and the time you spent and your insights, and it's a pleasure having you with us. We're going to go ahead and switch over to our buddy, Michelle Naray. And Michelle, let me just unmute you. Let me find you here in the list. There he is. Michelle, are you on? Hello, Michelle.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. There he is. Good.
Hey.
Well, thank you, Michelle, for hanging on through this whole thing, and appreciate you coming. We're going to talk to Michelle about using eSpeakers video use versus his YouTube video, and some of the things he's found that have helped him maximize that. So, Michelle, you're up front and center here. This is actually Michelle's website that you see here, and personally myself, I use it as wherever I demo a good speaker website, I'll just give a plug for Michelle, and it's for no other reason. I really do love his website, and so if you're ever looking for a good example of a website, it's at naray.com. But that's not what we're here for, obviously, Michelle. Let's go down here to your videos tab, and we'll talk about that. Do you have anything to say to the group here initially while we're just getting started?
Yeah, well, hang on a second. First of all, I just want to make a comment. You started up by saying thank you for hanging in there. And I'm thinking, thank me, holy cow, Darren I got a problem because I have my page of notes, but on my page of notes, I was writing notes of what Darren was saying, so it's all mixed up together.
Thanks, Michelle. That's quite a compliment from you.
No, this is such cool stuff, and you know what? I'm also a fan of Judy Carter's. I get her email. I love your golden secret about leaving the recording on. Holy cow, what did you have for breakfast? That was so cool. The funnel of trust, and interestingly enough, you inspired me to do more products myself. And I'm just about to launch. I've had my e-learning platform for my 4 modules, 4 stages that I take people through in helping them get their unique differentiator and essential message. It's been at 79% ready for the last year. So I've committed by the end of this week, and that's true. Just had my status meeting yesterday with my assistant. By the end of next week, it's going to be 81%. So it'll launch.
Sweet.
Yeah, very cool. But I want to build on something that you said. You were talking a lot about donuts, and so we might as well start off by saying, well, why videos in the first place? So video is really your donuts because you're giving things away that demonstrate, not only demonstrate what you do and what your keynote is all about, and your style and your content and everything, but you're actually giving out that donut to get people interested more about what you do. So here's a little thing that my own insecurity that I'm sure lots of people share this, or at least I hope I'm not the only one. But for the longest time I would have my videos up there, but I would not show my best little bits. And because I didn't want to, so oh my God, if they see it on video, they're not going to want to hire, they got it. People could just look at it anywhere. They could just see it on video. But here's what happened. When I started doing it, I do this little back-to-back thing, and I say, that'll never work in video, whatever. I do this little back-to-back exercise. I have had so many requests from bureaus and clients who have called me up and say, you know that thing you do, yeah, it's so funny. We want you to do that. That has been my best lead generator. So talk about donuts and getting people involved. And, you know, some of the questions is, how do you get people into your funnel? Well, you get them into your funnel as a speaker by putting your video up. Does that make sense? I'm hearing everybody said
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I muted myself.
Hands are up.
That's the way it works on these things. So, so what we're looking at now is my video page on my website that shows all the all the videos that are being fed by eSpeaker. So the first question I need to answer is like, why eSpeaker over YouTube? Well, the first question, and we're going to go into this, I've asked Joe to load up another page as well, but when you go to YouTube, you know, you've got all the YouTube branding up there. You've got recommendations of other videos that people might like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why do I want yeah, so there's my YouTube.
Yeah, this is channel right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Isn't
God.
that your...
So that there, I run another website and a whole platform called Mo Mondays, which you could take a look at. So there's a video clip from the Toronto Mo Monday event that we run, and so I put people up there that we videotape, and you could see all the other videos that we have along the top. But at the bottom, just scroll the page up a little bit. You know, you've got McDonald's advertising, you've got musicians, you've got SharePoint conference, you've got 5 basic public speaking tips, you've got Bruce Springsteen keynote, which is very cool because I watched it and I'm a fan. You've got the world champion. Now, if it had Darren LaCroix up there, I wouldn't be upset. But I don't know what they're right. There you are.
Yeah, he is right there.
There you go. Now, Darren, I noticed that in your Stitches keynote, you had hair.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I did in some of my very, very early videos as well.
Well, so speaking of that, somebody Bartholomew here, one of our attendees, kind of made a little joke, and he said, I noticed both presenters are bald. Do you think that helps?"
Absolutely, because you know, it just lets the negative criticism just slip off.
You're funny.
So, yeah, hey, thank you. Coming from you, that's a good one. So here's why video is, it's your donuts, it's your freebies, it's a real example of what you do. And it gives planners and clients something tangible that they say, yes, this is what we're looking for, both in style and content. Like I said, I've had so many clients and bureaus say, you just have the right blend of style and content that we're looking for. There's no way at all that we would be able to articulate and communicate that with written words. It has to be in video. The other thing is, why eSpeaker video? Well, we talked about how I don't want everybody else's branding up there and all the links to other speakers where they could jump off. But there's another reason, and I'm going to reference again something that Darren said. You know, he talked about, why do I have everything running through my shopping cart? Well, hey, listen, I'm all for digital efficiency. If there's something that I could do in 1 click rather than 5 clicks or 5 clicks and a mailer, then that's what I'm going to do. Having everything in my eSpeaker platform has allowed me to do stuff in my back office that I know for a fact take a speaker and 2 assistants to accomplish. And it's not just the video, it's all of the other things. As soon as there's a new feature that you guys at eSpeaker launch, I'm on it right away, because I know it's just one more thing that I could integrate within the same platform. So same philosophy that Darren was using in terms of the shopping cart. So let's take a look, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time. I've got 7, 8 videos up on my eSpeaker site. I've added this little code that's at the top. So when you click on it, you notice at the very top in the where it says nere.com/video-clips question marks open to video. That's something that you can add anywhere just by knowing. You go to the you go to the eSpeaker video code, and you just put that into the link, so that as soon as somebody opens the page, video, it automatically pops up with the video that you want them to see first. Which, by the way, that is the back-to-back exercise that that so many planners and bureaus have been asking me to do. And it's really as easy as that. I mean, it's funny because we did this once, and then we forgot about it, and then I forgot even how to do it. I mean, it was so easy to do the first time, never even had to think about it again. So you notice I've got a collection of videos. I vary my videos between 2 and 8 minutes. Longer than that, and people click off. The longest one, I think, is about no, I actually took out my 8-minute ones, and I've cut them down to 1 and 2 minutes, and the longest one there is the TV interview I have with Daily Web TV, and I think that's 4.5 minutes. So showing the videos up, running it through the eSpeaker platform is a great way to show the variety of things that you do.
Michelle, can I just integrate something right there?
Yeah.
One of the things that by using eSpeakers video, the video process here, we've got Michelle has these clips that are out on his personal website, and he loaded them through his eSpeakers profile, and he's selected to have them as clips. They could be links in some text if you wanted, but he's selected to have them in as thumbnails here. And when you click the thumbnail, as you've seen, you get your own player. This is our own player for eSpeakers, and the video you're seeing here is HD format and HD quality. And so he's actually was one of the first ones to put in an HD video, which is you got to go to his website and watch it. It's a really great, nice video. And then along the side over here, you've got other videos, but nowhere on here do you have the recommendations like Michelle was saying earlier. So this is something that when you have an eSpeakers account, you get with it. You have to have a Plus or a Pro account to get the video package, but you just get this with it. And so this is a video that this technology he's using on his personal website, but also it's over here on his CAPS Toronto chapter website. It's the same video. And what Michelle was saying earlier was, I love to use the technology and do it once, and then it distributes itself out to all these other sites. And this is one of those other sites, is like the CAPS chapter has their own logo, and it's the same video as you can see, but he uploaded it once, and then these different bureaus or associations can also use that video, and so it cuts down the workload on his part. So I just wanted to mention that kind of add on to what you were saying there.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I put one video. I tell you, it drives me nuts when bureaus are not on the eSpeaker platform. There are just a couple of them that aren't, that I've found, because then I got to remember, well, what bio do they have? What video clips do they have? When I am working all through the eSpeaker platform, I know it's just put it up there once and it's done. Everybody's got the latest version of whatever I want to show the world. Because again, going back to what Darren was saying, we're evolving, we're progressing, we're getting better all the time. And as soon as I have something that's better than what I had yesterday, that's what I want up to show the world. I don't want anything else. So while we'll go,
Michelle, one other thing is, as we were talking about using YouTube compared to the eSpeakers video, one of the things we're finding with our customers who use YouTube video is they're increasingly having problems having meeting planners view their videos because of corporate firewalls. Corporate firewalls are just blocking everything on YouTube or everything on Vimeo as a time suck, you know. And that's one of the guys that had said It's a time waster, and so the corporation just decided to block all YouTube videos. So they couldn't watch it and ask if there was another way to do that. And luckily, he kind of gave a testimonial and say, hey, great, I've got my eSpeakers video on my website. Just go there and you can see it. So that's one of the other issues people are running into compared, with eSpeakers video compared to YouTube.
You know what? I had no idea that was going on. So thank you. One more big reason to do that. Now, I don't know if you want to go to, you want to show people literally the back door of my administration. I'll show you. I'm a WordPress fan. I build, my company builds WordPress websites for our clients. But literally, here's how we did it. We've got a page, and we call it video. And here we go. This is it. I picked up the code directly from the eSpeaker website when it goes in promotion and all the media elements.
Let me go here and show you.
Click on code here.
Yep. So this is where he added it, and he had all of the different pieces and parts of it. And then let's see here. Oops, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so he added these videos, and then where am I trying to go here? Well, sorry.
You want to see where it goes in? It's in the Web Tools section.
Yeah. Oh, you want to see the back end of the code itself?
Yeah. So just show
yeah.
exactly where on the eSpeaker website where it says pick up the code to drop into your website. There's the code. I'll show it now. We can show you where I got it from if you want to show that, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on here. I was confusing myself and sorry, I should have had this open here. Okay, so over here, when you're in your eSpeakers account, you go to website marketing, to the website plugins, and you go to the video section here, and you can say get code. And what this does is this is where you determine the code for your individual video or a list of videos, and whether you want it to be a thumbnail or the text. And so let's just say he wanted the thumbnail of an individual video or a list of videos like he has,
which is what I did.
Determine the rate. Anyway, you just say get code, and it automatically copies it. And so there's the code right there that we give you, and then over here is what Michelle put in.
So if I had to get that custom coded, I mean, you know how much that would cost and how much time it would take and how much debugging it would, I'd be tearing. No, I wouldn't, because I don't have any. Anyway, so this is so easy. This is like literally a 5-second job to create a page on my website that shows my video. So that's it. That is it. That is all I do. I have the videos. I do get some of them professionally edited. Some of them I don't need to. And upload them through the eSpeaker website. Because I've already created the page with the code, the video shows up automatically. I don't have to worry about the YouTube branding. I don't have to YouTube about the recommendations, and I certainly don't have to worry about the firewall issue that you mentioned.
Right.
I know that it gets disseminated to all the bureaus right away. I know most importantly it gets disseminated to my own website, and a lot of times that's where people are going, and it's good to go. Easy peasy.
Okay, cool. Well, Darren, appreciate Darren and Michelle spending some time with us. Michelle, this was awesome, and you're great to come on and spend some time with us. We appreciate that and your insights, and sounds like you learned from Darren as well. So it was great to It was great to have both of you guys on today. We appreciate everyone joining us today, wherever you're at in the world. Our next training webinar will be in May. Registration details will come soon and be sent to you. Joining us on that webinar will be Cheryl Cran and Marilyn Sherman. So we appreciate you being here. Happy speaking, and goodbye.